Hello my friends and welcome back to another Brotato Danger 5 New Dawn run. Hope you're all doing well. Today we're deliberately walking into one of the biggest traps in the game. Ranger is a character that's available very early, and it's one of the characters I see people often struggle with because it's actually a deceptively difficult character. Although it's a fairly simple play pattern, losing 25% of your HP is a much bigger penalty than it looks like at first, especially if you're a newer player, so you're more likely to take a bunch of damage. But the trap comes in because Ranger starts with a pistol, which, to a new player, reads as the game signaling that this is the right way to play the character, is just to buy a bunch of pistols. And this is a very weak weapon, so it can make the run significantly more difficult. So we're going to go with Ranger with pistols only, and we'll walk right into the trap and see if we can get a win with it. This run is actually one of the harder runs in the game, in my opinion, because pistol's such a weak weapon, and there's very little room for error on this run, because Ranger has low HP, so even small mistakes can get you killed very quickly. Here, we want some harvesting. We also just want increased ranged damage and increased attack speed. So I'm considering taking 5% attack speed, but I'll roll for harvesting at the beginning here. Take 5 harvesting. We'll lock Coupon and Sharp Bullet. These are awesome finds. Although Pistol does have inherent piercing, Sharp Bullet is still going to be good. This weapon struggles very badly with large groups of enemies, so we very much want to get some form of piercing, and we'll find a pumpkin or something, or just enough base damage that lowering our piercing damage won't matter. One advantage that Pistol does have is that it's a very cheap weapon, so even though it's very weak, it attacks slowly and does very low damage relative to other guns, you should be able to find a bunch of them and upgrade it reasonably well. And we did manage to find 5. That's offset a little bit by the fact that it is a gun, so it's part of one of the biggest weapon categories in the game. That can make it a little harder to find more of them, but even so, we should be able to level it reasonably well. It doesn't level that well, but it's cheap, so it's still efficient to level it up. I could take luck or attack speed here, but let's roll. I'll just take 1 ranged damage, because as the Ranger, you buy ranged damage at an improved rate, so it's very efficient to do that. And then we'll buy a pistol, and we'll roll a couple more times. Okay, level 2 pistol, that's not a bad find either. We've managed to find 9 total weapon levels off of the first 2 shops, including the one that we started with, but still. As the Ranger, you really want to focus in on being a kind of a glass cannon. That doesn't mean that you should neglect your HP entirely, and you should try to have some ways to heal on this character, because you have very low health, so if you take a hit, it can often be lethal. But you do want to lean into the damage that you're doing. Here, we'll take 5 more harvesting, and then we'll take 10% attack speed. Attack speed is really important for the pistol, because it has such a terrible base attack rate that increasing your attack speed is massively impactful for it. We're going to go ahead and combine. We'll buy a pistol. We'll buy a sharp bullet. We'll ban the boiling water here. Obviously, we're not building elemental damage on this build. And it is really nice to ban items for the Ranger. As the Ranger, items that increase your melee damage don't show up naturally because you can't use melee weapons. So you have a smaller shop pool to work from. That means banning items is correspondingly more impactful on the quality of your shops. So we do benefit quite a bit from bans here. Managed to kill the lamprey without too much danger. Definitely really nice. We do want to kill the curse aliens. One way we can actually increase our character's damage is if we get a cursed weapon, which pistols are pretty weak, but a cursed pistol can be a lot better. I'm going to roll here, and we'll take 8 harvesting, and then this is going to be kind of the last economy stuff that I buy, because I really need to focus on improving my damage. Penguin and baby squid, I'm just going to ban both of these. We're going to focus more on... Actually, maybe I should buy the baby squid This character normally would want to build lifesteal. Even with pistols, I think you prefer buying lifesteal to buying regen because it's a ranged weapon in general. So even though it's a very slow attacking weapon, it still has some pierce, and you can use lifesteal reasonably effectively with it. But Baby Squid this early is a lot of regen. So I think actually what we are going to do is we're going to buy the penguin, we'll lock the Baby Squid, and then I'll still build a little bit of lifesteal. Do I lock these items? I think not. I'm going to reroll and we'll buy a pistol. And we'll lock the Weird Ghost. We'll ban the pencil here. We'll reroll again because I want to lock another pistol. And we'll buy Baby Squid early, and that means we won't have to spend other money on regeneration. Getting an early Baby Squid kind of solves your healing issues. So that way, if we get like a Baby Squid or if we get a Decomposing Flesh early, we can avoid having to spend any money on healing, which this character really wants to spend all its money on damage and a little max HP so we don't just get one shot. I've got to pick up more attack speed as well. That's one of the main challenges with this weapon, is it attacks really slowly. Okay, well this was the best item we could find, pretty much bar none. It's 3 base damage because of the Ranger increasing our damage by 50%, and 10 attack speed, so it's incredible for this character. In a reroll here, I am looking for range damage or attack speed. I wouldn't mind a high level percent damage pickup also, but I'll take 2 armor, and then we'll take 10% attack speed. We will then buy our Baby Squid like we talked about. We'll buy the Weird Ghost, we'll roll. This character does want to buy HP when you see it, even though you buy health at a reduced rate. Very important that you get enough maximum health that you don't die. Campfire, I think I'm just going to ban, although we are going to build regeneration on this character, and regen usually wants to, if you're a regen build, you usually just want to build as much regeneration as you can. Campfire is very inefficient for this build, since we're not an elemental damage build, and we need to fix our move speed as well, so we're going to avoid it. We do have the challenge of playing on the Abyss, where there are the pufferfish, and those are very dangerous, of course, for this character. We have really low health, and we're a ranged weapon, so we're always going to trigger the explosions, and then if we get hit by them, especially when they start spawning cursed later on, we can die in one tap. I would love a Baby Gecko, even some pickup radius, though we would prefer Baby Gecko. We'll ban Snake, that just reduces our health for no value. And then here we're going to start taking damage over economy stats, of course. We will buy the recycling machine, we'll take Scar and Broken Mouth as well. Going up to 19 HP means we're not going to be one shot, and the Scar not only helps us level up, it also helps with our Baby Squid, so it's a really nice find there. Here we're going to ban Energy Bracelet, of course, and I'm just going to ban the Scared Sausage. We're not going to build around it this run, so we'll just get it out of the pool. We'll take a pistol, and then Duct Tape, unfortunately, I don't think we can afford to buy on this character. Losing HP is pretty painful. So I will ban the Duct Tape. I'll lock the Bat, because I do still want at least a little lifesteal. And then we'll roll a couple times, and we'll lock a pistol and a Scar. We did get the Ice Cube there, which would have gone well with the Scared Sausage, but even if we had bought that combo, it's still not that impactful. People tend to overrate that combination in terms of how much damage it does. It's only 10% extra damage, right? At a pretty expensive rate. And obviously, if you didn't find the Ice Cube, then the Scared Sausage is almost completely wasted for this character, so I'm still happy with banning it. As always, when you're building items in this game, you have to consider the opportunity cost. Too often, people think, would it be good to just magically have that item? And that's the only evaluation that they do on whether it's good to buy something or not. And yeah, obviously, most items it's good to just magically have in your inventory, but they cost money. And that means you're not having something else in your inventory. I'll go ahead and just take 1 ranged damage here, and then I will reroll. I'm looking for attack speed or ranged damage. Crit chance is also fine for pistols. Pistols do have 2x crit damage, and they increase their crit chance as they level up. So you can build critical hit items like Tentacle and like Hunting Trophy and get some value out of those. But I think attack speed or flat damage are just going to be better stats for us right now. Go ahead and buy this whole shop. Actually, I'm going to pass on the compass. I do need move speed, but I really don't want to reduce my damage by dropping my crit chance. I'll take the small fish, and then we will reroll, and we'll buy a weird food. Leather vest, I also have to pass on. Armor and dodge are less efficient for this character because our HP is really low. So we need to make sure that we aren't reducing it. We aren't reducing our HP, and leather vest, although it's a really good item for most characters, it gives us purely defensive stats, which this character is less interested in, and at a less efficient rate, because those stats all multiply with one another, so when your health is really low, armor and dodge are less effective. The damage that we're doing is not quite high enough for me to feel comfortable, especially because we're going into a horde wave here. And horde waves are really dangerous for a pistol build, so I do need to increase my damage output. Getting some percent damage is going to be the biggest thing for that. I'll take the wisdom as a result of that, I think. We'll take tree as well. Coral, I still don't think we want. 76 for 3 curse is fine. And the regen while standing still is okay. But I just never use the coral regen. I think it is still worth buying here, just for the curse. I'll take Clockwork Wasp as well. It's an expensive way to buy move speed, but we have no move speed, so I do need to boost that. This character is always going to struggle to kill elites quickly anyways, just because pistol's a low damage weapon. So wisdom can help out by boosting our damage, and I think it will help us survive the horde wave. Horde waves tend to be most dangerous in the second half, so the wisdom will be helpful there. Not an item I rate super highly, wisdom, but in this case, when our percent damage is really low, and given the particular pattern of boss waves that we have, so I'm worried very much about the Wave 11 Horde, I think that the wisdom will help with that. And I go ahead and kill that tree, and we'll try to focus down this loot alien. It is running into the middle of a bunch of enemies, though. There we go, we got it. Go get this tree, and we'll run through the middle of the map a bit. I will take a few hits doing that, but I knew we had those consumables to pick up, and I wanted to make certain that I got those materials before the end of the wave. I'll recycle the book. We have a recycling machine, so we benefit from that. Losing a ranged damage, very painful, but I think I still have to take the shmoop. Celery tea, we cannot afford. This character doesn't do enough damage to kill enemies with double their normal health. I'm gonna reroll here. Nice, 15% attack speed is perfect. That's exactly what I wanted. And this pumpkin is also amazing. Now we only have minus 5% pierce damage, so our piercing is a lot more effective. We'll buy all of this stuff, and then we'll do a reroll. We'll buy another pistol, and then we'll do a reroll. And let's see, I definitely want the hedgehog. I want the pumpkin. Baby elephant we don't need. I will take a lemonade, though, and I'll roll again, and we'll take an insanity. Do I want the jelly? It's 1 HP for this character, since we're only building pistols, but so it's 0.75, actually, because of the ranger. But every point of HP does matter for this character. I think I will pass on it. I feel like there's just better stuff we can do. And I need to build a lot of damage this next wave as well, so I don't want to buy a defensive item going into a horde wave. Typically with hordes, you need more damage. With elites, you need more defenses, so we're gonna try to get as much damage as possible. In particular, I need percent damage right now, though flat ranged damage is always really good on the Ranger, since you buy it at an improved rate. These lampreys are always going to be pretty spooky as well. Let's see if I can get the curse alien kill, because I killed the blobfish, so I should get the prize. Sounds like a really messed up carnival game. And yeah, 2 ranged damage, perfect. That's exactly what we want. And 12% damage, also perfect, and exactly what we want. And then I'll take more attack speed going into a horde wave. We'll take the hedgehog, insanity, and the pumpkin, and then we'll roll. Bean Teacher does cost me all of the lifesteal that we have currently, but we've actually got 9 regeneration and we're building more, so I am liking the decision to buy the baby squid. The penguin is also not bad because it can stack up some regen when we pick up consumables. And the Bean Teacher will be good, assuming we survive next wave. And then we'll roll here. And I'm going to take the lens, though I want the helmet as well. I do need more armor. And I think we will actually take the mushroom. Since we're buying regen, we should stack regen when we get it in an efficient way. So we've gotten some pretty nice economy items so far. The main challenge that we have at the moment is just that we still have fairly low damage. Trying to keep enough space around myself by killing enemies before they get to the corner here that we have room to maneuver. You can often get into trouble if you just slam yourself into the corner of the map right away, which seems like the safest way to play, but it gives you less room to dodge. And so you should kind of do a fighting retreat on these waves where you know you're going to have to be in the edge of the map later on, because it'll give you a little room to play around with. So there, we did survive, and we'll take the metal plate, and then I'll take a ranged damage. I will buy a few defensive items and then roll. Ball and chain, our weapons already attack faster than that, so unfortunate because I really could use those stats, but we can't buy it. Pearl, we have -2 luck, but I guess we'll take a dangerous bunny and I'll do one more reroll. Okay, baby with a beard, this is a great way to boost our damage output, so this is an amazing find. Bandana, I will take as well, although my percent damage is horrible. More Pierce is still very important. We still have a horde wave coming up, and treasure map is too good to pass. This wave, I need to be very aggressive about picking up materials as they drop, because we left 250 on the ground last wave, so I need to make sure I pick up at least that many in order to avoid carrying them over through multiple waves, which will start costing us a lot of money and making our character a lot weaker. I also do need to be a little careful. This is, of course, a wave with the blobfish, and we have enough curse now that it's fairly likely that when I kill a blobfish, at least one of the lampreys spawns cursed, and that's a lot of health to get through for a low damage build, and a lot of damage to get through for a low health build. If a couple of them spawn cursed, so you need to be pretty cognizant of that and try to time killing the blobfish for a point in time where you're going to be able to drop the lampreys immediately. I do, unfortunately, I didn't want to reduce my crit chance, but I gotta take the compass. We have we have 0 move speed. The garden, I think, honestly, we don't need the garden for healing. I have +3 consumable heal, though. Yeah, I guess it's worth spending 69 on, and we'll take the dangerous bunny. We'll take 2 more range damage, and then 16% damage is incredible. This character doesn't need more range. You can see we're never not able to shoot, because we just don't do enough damage to kill stuff. So even though this is a time when you should consider a range upgrade, which you should almost never consider buying range, but in this case, when you see a level 4 range against a bunch of level 1 stuff, it can be worth considering. but we just don't need range on this character. We'll take 7 crit chance instead, and be much happier. And then we'll buy all of this stuff, and then we'll reroll. Reinforced steel I will buy. I'm not going to buy a garden at full health. Spyglass we don't really need. We have double dangerous bunny already, so it's going to be very inefficient to buy the spyglass. I will take the Cyclops worm though, and then I will reroll, and we'll keep upgrading our pistols. And I'll roll one more time, why not, and pick up a beanie as well. So the extra piercing and the baby with the beard that we have are really going to increase our clear speed. That is one of the best items we could possibly have found, because it lets us kill stuff with an effect that isn't our bad gun. One thing that is kind of funny about this run is that because this is a sort of glass cannon run where you're just trying to do as much damage as possible, when you win these runs, it's going to feel fairly easy because you're just going to kill everything before it puts you under threat. But the preponderance of times that you play this run, if you make mistakes with your shopping or your movement, it's going to go from feeling pretty good to you losing almost instantly. It's just a very fragile run. We'll take the coffee here, and then... So I've got 90 attack speed. That's pretty good. I have 21 range damage. I'm just going to take that. It also boosts the damage of the baby with a beard, which is now a big part of our plan. And then we can buy out this whole shop. That's a great shop for us. I will take the dangerous bunny and mutation. We'll pick up the injection as well. I'll do my free reroll, and I guess I'll lock the pistol. So we're giving up free reroll value here, but that's fine. Somehow I think we'll survive having 4 items that we really want locked in the shop. The baby with the beard, of course, is doing tremendous amounts of damage here. That's helping clear the waves massively. So very happy with that. We do have enough HP to survive 1 hit, though I do want a little bit more before I get to the bosses. 35 HP, definitely low. We can get away with around 50 or so. But that's a lot of money on the ground here as well. I'll take a bag, and then we'll pick up 15 more attack speed. 12 move speed is also pretty tempting, but I think the attack speed is going to be more important. And then we'll buy all of these items. We'll roll. We'll pick up a reinforced steel, lock and improve tools, and roll. Here I'll take 10% move speed. Bone dice I'm going to pass on. I need more max HP. We'll buy the weird food, and we'll take a reroll. And metal is perfect. Do I need the bat? Honestly, I've got 17 regen, so I don't really need to buy a bat. Lifesteal is not as much of a priority as it would be. We'll buy it when it shows up cheaply. These waves are always going to be dangerous. I've got low armor, and now that I have the baby with a beard, these pufferfish are going to die at times when I didn't intend for them to, because we no longer control where all of our damage is going. So you're going to start seeing pufferfish explosions. If some spawn near me, we could actually get in a lot of trouble based on that, because if they spawn right near you and explode right under you, it can be difficult to adjust and not take a hit or even 2. And if you take 2 hits from a pufferfish with 34 health, you die. I genuinely don't know how that flash didn't hit me. It looked like I stood right under it and then took no damage from it. I guess the enemy died as it went off. And one thing you might not know about the enemies that put those slashes on the ground is if they die before the slash goes off, they don't do damage. I'm going to roll here and we'll take 2 ranged damage. And then we will buy out this whole shop. But let's buy... I guess the wings matters more than the metal for this next shop. Whetstone is an efficient enough source of lifesteal that I will buy it. We'll lock the hedgehog and we'll roll. Crown, well, you can't be the king of Brotato without it, so I don't think it's actually great to buy it here. We don't really need the additional harvesting, and our harvesting is pretty low, and it's relatively late in the run, but, you know, sometimes you do things for the memes. Having 8 consumable heal is really nice, and having this garden does give us some nice insurance, because when I take a hit, I can always run over to the garden, and we're guaranteed to have a full heal stored up there. That was funny. I couldn't decide whether I was going to say stored up or stocked up, and ended up saying stirred up. I got halfway between. Okay, can we get that loot alien? We did, and we got a decent amount of curse as well. I will lose 1.5 range damage for the lucky charm. That's going to be pretty helpful. I want a little more armor as well, so we don't just get one shot by enemies, and then we'll buy these things. I'll leave the whetstone locked. I will roll past all that stuff. We'll take a pistol upgrade. I'll take the lost duck. I've got 15% move speed already, so I don't really need the clockwork wasp. Just need enough that we can dodge the boss's attacks easily. The cursed anglerfish do have a lot of health and do a lot of damage, so I need to be careful of those. I also want to position away from where the lampreys are spawning. Because we're a gun build, and pistol does have decent base range, and also I've bought actually a fair amount of range this build, just kind of incidentally. Even though we have the baby with the beard, which reduced it. We can kill the lampreys before they get a chance to charge, as long as I position fairly far from them. Since our range is high. And we're playing the Ranger that starts with 50 extra range, of course. Eye surgery, we're going to recycle. I'll take the jelly here. Any HP is good HP. And then let's reroll. I think I just want the 20% attack speed. 16 damage is also very tempting, but we do have a wisdom. So my damage is a little higher. My percent damage is a little higher than it looks. We'll buy all of these items. We'll roll. I don't need either of these. I will take the fruit basket. Unfortunately, the robot arm doesn't do much for us. And I guess I'll take the spider. We don't care really about losing harvesting or dodge at this point. And I think I'm going to pass on all these. I just need more damage before we fight the bosses. Sad as it is, I am going to pass the cursed nuclear launcher. I want to get this win with pistols only, because it's such a bad weapon. And the nail, this will be positive damage if I buy it, right? So it's plus 5 engineering, we'd go up to 17, so it's plus 1 base damage per weapon, essentially. Because we get 3 damage from our engineering, and then minus 2 for losing 2 ranged damage. Except that we lose 3 ranged damage because we're the ranger. So yeah, we shouldn't do that. I'll buy the broken mouth, and eye patch is okay. Other than that, I'm gonna just pass on the economy items. This is a tough elite to have rolled also, because with the baby with a beard and with a lot of pierce, if it was an elite that didn't follow us around like this, we could actually just focus on everything else, and the elite would kind of incidentally die to the baby with the beard damage and our piercing shots. Since we rolled the shark elite, it's going to chase us, so we do actually have to attack it specifically. Whoops. That was goofy. We'll walk into that attack. But we killed the elite, at least. And you can see that because I've been prioritizing getting health, we have 42 HP, so it's obviously very low, but a lot of characters at this point would have somewhere around 60. And so we're fine to survive one hit, as long as I don't take multiple hits in a row. Then the Ranger's penalty, we've managed to overcome it. Obviously recycling the gnome there. I'll take the lost duck, and then do I want just 1 range damage? With 44 luck, I feel like I can get a higher level upgrade. I guess I'll take 8% damage. And then we will buy these things. We'll pass on the spyglass. There's a pistol. We can finally level up our level 1 pistol. We can roll here. Do I want another pumpkin? Piercing damage is... yeah, so we can still increase our piercing damage because pistol has minus 40% or minus 50% by default. And it can never go above minus 0%. It can never go above 100% damage on your pierce, but as long as you still have negative damage, the pumpkin can still increase your piercing damage. Let's roll one more time. All right, we'll buy the wheat because it's 2 ranged damage, and we'll go to the next wave here. That broken mouth was a really nice find, because that's going to help us get to around 50 HP. We'll be a little short going into the boss wave. We'll be at like 47, I think, after we level up here. But that should be enough to survive at least 1 hit from the bosses. And since we have pretty good healing, we should be able to heal back up. Still definitely losable this run, because we're not going to kill the bosses that quickly. Our damage is okay, but not amazing. And so we will have to dodge a lot, and we have very low defensive stats. If I get a cursed pistol or something to show up, that would obviously be excellent. Made very little money this last wave, sadly, compared to what you usually get wave 19. I'll take the alloy, that's incredible. 4.5 range damage, and 5 crit chance, which helps this character a lot as well. I think I will just take the 3 lifesteal here. That could help us get back to full health after we take a hit from the bosses. And then let's buy a level 1 pistol. And I guess I'd rather have the ranged damage than the pistol level up, so we'll buy the hedgehog here. We'll do a couple rerolls just for fun. Oh, the silver bullet. So silver bullet, is that worth selling an item for? I can't even sell 1 weapon for, although I think it would be worth it, because it would reduce my damage by roughly a 1/6 to sell one of my 6 weapons, and we would gain 25%. So if we could sell 1 weapon for the silver bullet, we would do it. Since we can't, we're going to the next wave here. So I would prefer to kill the whale boss first, but okay, I need to be really careful. Because I got the snake boss low, I want to kill it before putting the whale boss into stage 2. Woof. Had to run over there and pick up our heal from the garden. Took that hit, but I'm going to save the full heal crate. Okay, and we did it. So the damage was high enough that we didn't have to dodge that much. So even though my movement in the last wave wasn't amazing, we managed to make it through. So that is Ranger with Pistol. This run is deceptively difficult, and you saw that we struggled at various points in this run, but still winnable. And so taking a look at these items, we saved 270 on our coupon. Surprisingly low for a coupon we basically started the game with. But this is a low economy run because your weapon is kind of weak. What else? Baby Squid gave us 20 regeneration, so we had 17 after items that reduced it. This was an incredibly important find. It meant I didn't have to spend money on healing. We did buy a little lifesteal as well, and between those things, we had enough that we were pretty happy. 189 from the recycling machine, so it was pretty good. I will say we got pretty unlucky on our tier 4 item finds. We killed the elite and didn't get anything that we... killed 2 elites and didn't get anything that we wanted, right? No, we had 2 horde waves, so we only killed 1 elite. But still, the recycling machine was very helpful since we found relatively bad level 4 items. The coral was not good. We didn't find any cursed items until this eye patch after buying the coral. So the coral did not work out since we mostly bought it for the curse. The wisdom was very good. I was very happy with that purchase. All our extra XP gain was really important as well. Not only did it give us the stats, it also increased our base HP, which meant that even with the Ranger's penalty, we still had 47, so we were able to survive. 350 savings from the Dangerous Bunny, but it's way more than that because it also discounts every other reroll you do. Only one item from Treasure Map, which we got kind of in the mid-game, so pretty unlucky on that. Although I had low luck, so we weren't getting that many crates. 135 from the bag. The crown was bad, but we knew it was going to be bad. And that's it. Alright, my friends, I hope they... Oh, wait, let's look at the Baby with the Beard damage. 100,000 damage from the Baby with the Beard, so it definitely helped a ton in this run. Alright, my friends, I hope that you enjoyed this run, and hopefully this gives you a sense of why you might have been struggling with the Ranger if you yourself were trying this run. Use submachine guns, it's so much easier. As always, of course, if you have enjoyed the video, feel free to leave a comment and hit like. Helps me out with the algorithm, so I appreciate you taking the time to do that. And of course, you can subscribe to my channel for more Brotato and other strategy game analysis. Cheers, folks. I'll catch you next time.